Today I am going to tell you about a German romantic novel written by Johann Wolfgang von Goethe. When this novel was published, in a very short span of time, almost 2,000 people committed suicide when they read this novel. The reason was this, that it had a marvelous effect on the young people because this novel was related to a movement that is known as Sturm and Drang movement, that is translated in English as storm and stress. This is a novel that is related to the emotions and feelings of a young man for a woman who was engaged to another man. And this novel narrates the story of young Werther who loves Lotte or Charlotte, who loves him but she is engaged to another man. This novel, The Sorrows of Young Werther, led to the start of romantic movement in Germany. The rest of the novelist followed Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, and they wrote novels of storm and stress that mostly reflected love and storm and stress. First of all, the novel starts with a person whose name is Werther. He is on leave. He goes to a very natural place. He is a lover of nature and he wants to enjoy the beauty of nature. And he goes to a village where he wants to live and spend his holidays. When he goes there, he meets a girl whose name is Charlotte. And the moment he saw her, he falls in love with her. He starts visiting her regularly, and the intensity of love for Charlotte increases with the passage of time. And as the time passes, his love increases for Charlotte. And when he comes to know about her family, about her parents, she tells him that her father is dead and she is having several brothers and sisters and she's taking care of them. So he regularly starts visiting the house of Charlotte, and they gradually become lovers. With the passage of time, they go to different places, they enjoy nature together, they enjoy parties, they enjoy balls together and dance together. Goethe uses a short name for Charlotte, that is Lotte. So when he is in love with Lotte, after some time, Charlotte tells Werther she is engaged to a man whose name is Albert. And when Albert will return, she is going to marry that person. And when Werther listens to this, he is dumbfounded and he is unable to breathe. And he thinks as if the word has vanished for him and it has been destroyed because she considers that Charlotte is his word, Charlotte is his life, and she is everything for him. So after listening to this, no, he thinks that how he'll spend his life being away from Charlotte. After some time, Albert returns. When he returns, Werther still regularly visits Charlotte, but he sees that Charlotte also loves her fiancé. And this is unbearable for a lover. So it grows into a love triangle in which there is one girl and two men. She is loved by both. Although Lotte is interested in Werther, she loves him, but due to the demands of the society, norms, culture, she has to marry Albert because it was a wish of her father and her mother. So he tells Werther he is going to marry Albert. He must not visit them regularly. And this was too much for Werther when he comes to know that his beloved asks him not to visit regularly. And after some time, she marries Albert and still he visits her. And Albert comes to know about his love for his wife. And Albert comes to know about Werther's love with his wife. And he asks his wife, Charlotte, that you must ask your lover to stop visiting. When she asks him that you must stop visiting me, it is too much for him. And he says that if I stop visiting you, then life would end for me. And when he returns home, he thinks that Lotte or Charlotte has asked me not to visit her. He thinks that life has ended for him and he thinks of ending his life. He writes a letter to Albert and he asks him to lend him pistols. And when Albert shows that letter to his wife Charlotte, she cleans the pistols and gives it to a servant and asks him to deliver it to Werther. And when the servant reaches Werther's house, he tells Werther that the pistols were cleaned by his beloved. And when he receives those pistols, he says to himself that death has come to him from his beloved. So he takes those pistols and fires himself in the head and he dies. So this novel led to the emergence of Romanticism in Germany and the rest of the Europe as well. And this led to the start of a movement that is known as Sturm and Drang, which means storm and stress movement. And this was followed by many authors in Europe and the rest of the world that they depicted heroes who loved someone, and due to storm and stress, there were heroes who loved their beloveds, and they were too much emotional, full of feelings, and some of them committed suicide as well. After reading this novel in a very short span of time, 2,000 people committed suicide, and it was said in the Europe that Werther favor has occupied Europe because it was Werther favor because people after reading the novel they committed suicides by following Werther. And when people committed suicide on the place of their suicide, they found the novel of Wolfgang von Goethe, The Sorrows of Young. So, in one or two countries of Europe, this novel was banned because people started committing copycat suicides, and they started wearing clothes like Werther. They started wearing everything that Werther used to wear, and people started following him. And they committed suicides as well. So, it was banned in Europe so that the people may not commit suicide. And we find the reference of this novel in other novels as well. A very famous novel written by Mary Shelley, whose name is Frankenstein. This novel is also just like this novel, but it is different in its aspect that this novel, Sorrows of Young Werther, is related to love and romanticism, while that novel is related to science fiction. But the heroes of both the novels feel same kind of storm and stress. So I would be telling you about the Frankenstein uh, in our next video, in which we will come to know about the sufferings of the monster of Frankenstein, that he was developed and created by Frankenstein. He was left as Werther was left by his beloved Charlotte. I hope you like the video. Thank you for watching us. See you in the next video.